So what in the world is the Federal Reserve looking at? What is Jerome Powell looking at? What's up, everybody? Welcome back from Labor Day. Yep, it's Tuesday. It's not Monday. When I shoot this, it's Tuesday, but you guys are getting this on Wednesday. But welcome back to another week, another episode with your one and only Kenny Simpson. And if you didn't know, this is the brief. And boy, oh boy, do we have news to go through. And boy, oh boy, Mr. Jerome Powell, we're all watching you and we're all wondering, what are you drinking? What are you smoking? What are you looking at? Because I'm looking at the data, the people I follow are looking at the data, and everybody's getting frustrated because you keep saying data, and the data is going like this. So are we going to get the hard landing, the soft landing, a crash landing? We don't know, but we're going to jump into it. So anyways, guys, like usual, what do we go over first? Of course, it's inventory. And yes, kind of like outside as I look outside this sad, depressing, gloomy day here in San Diego. But yesterday was beautiful. That's why I'm sunburned or tan or whatever you want to call it, or all the above. Beautiful day here in San Diego. Hope you guys had a good weekend. We're going to get into it because we're just not going to get the inventory. I can tell you, I talked to so many people. They're locked in on a good rate. They're going to keep the house. They're not even the rates, guys. Friggin' spike in the prices. Logan over at Housing Wire, I think, nailed it. I think he said it the best. I'm going to give you a shout out, Logan. What he said, can't remember exactly, is that your rate's not gold, your equity's not gold. What is gold? What's winning? What is everybody partying about is your friggin' mortgage payment. Because think about it, until you sell your home, you can't tap the equity. Who cares what your rate is if you can't afford the payment? But people are locked in on these low rates with those low payments. That is the gold, because that will carry you through for the next 20, 30 years, whatever it may be, right? So anyways, let's move on to inventory. But I thought I'd mention that because that is it. If you guys are sitting on that crazy low payment, that is your gold. You're not going to give it up. Even if you go and want to go trade up to a house, it's so much more. Even if rates come back down to 5 or something, I think so many people are stuck. They're happy. They remodel their house or they're going to. So that's why we're talking about inventory. That's why a place like San Diego here, we're going to have problems. So last week we had 2697 listings. This week, 2764, 435 new, 368 recent sales, 367 pending. And inventory, my friends, it's the same story. Kind of like the weather out here. It's lackluster. It's not great. It's not going to get any better. So we're going to move on from that. But what is it that we want to go over? 8% rates. You know, it's a very exciting week. And then it became unexciting because rates went up. The 10-year treasury actually hit 4.35. Then it came back down to like 4. And I was starting to dance and celebrate and be like, oh yeah, here we go. And then apparently, I don't know what's going on, but some lady that was at the Fed opened her big mouth and said, wait a second here. The inflation's too high. We got to keep going. We got to raise rates. I mean, Paul Volcker 2.0. I don't know. So I'm studying the data. It all came in the way we want, what Jerome Powell says. 10-year treasury goes back up. I'm confused. All the people I listen to are confused. Economists are confused. I don't know. Do we just throw our hands up? But rates, my friends, like I tell everybody, quit playing games. When they come down, lock. Because this is literally what we're doing. The 10-year treasury, it might live between 375 and 4.25. That right there is probably a half a point to even more spread depending on flow, the timing, all that, and interest rate. So if the rate you got quoted is 7.375, then you can lock in 6.875 and you're like, well, I was going to see if it's going to go down. Don't. Now's not the time because the Fed is not done. They haven't pivoted. They're keeping their eye on the prize, and the prize is not the data. The prize is whatever they feel in their gut they need to do, they are going to do. The data don't matter. What you and I say don't matter because they want to see more pain. They want to see it in the jobs numbers. They want to see it in the wage growth. They want to see it in the consumer. They're apparently not seeing enough. So rates, when they go down and you can lock it in, quit playing games because you are going to get played by the Fed. What else is going on? Oh, this is interesting. As we live in this world with the millennials and it's growing and we've got these things called cell phones and we've got Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and nobody has cable TV anymore and kids don't want to have cars because they can do, hey, how's it going? FaceTime and all this stuff. As we live in this digital world where we can connect like this and you can order on Amazon and get stuff. What else is interesting is a lot of unmarried people, I'm saying because it's unconventional, but a lot of unmarried people, I think because they have these cell phones, they have access to Google and YouTube, and they get to learn a lot more than when I was younger. And shoot, I had to probably, if I want to learn any of this crap, figure out somebody that knew it or go to the library and study it. But getting this data probably costs an arm and a leg. But now we can just listen to people like this guy, just kidding, and get data or listen to whatever, go read whatever. There's so much information that young adults are realizing that we're together, we're friends, we're dating, whatever you are, right? Doesn't matter. You want to buy a place. You're tired of renting going up. You're trying to move it around. You're tired of your landlord telling you can't paint the place, can't do this, can't do that. So in the 1980s, it was actually, if I get this number right, 4% of unmarried people made up the first-time home buyers. Today, 18%. Because back in the 80s, let's be honest, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house, you buy a couple cars, you put the money away in the 401k. That was kind of it, man, and that's what you did. And you probably didn't move in as much until you got married because you're like a bad person or something. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. So now, 18%. And all I want to say about that, the youngsters actually, the average age is 32 that is doing this. Just keep in mind, whether it's your mom, whether it's your dad, whether it's your cousin, whether it's your brother, whether it's your girlfriend, some of you know whether it's your wife, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And if you don't have something concrete in place, like your title fixed or some type of agreement or something, because, I've seen this where the boyfriend put all the money in, and then I said boyfriend, right? And then the girlfriend put nothing in. They lived there for 4 years. She's on title, she's on the loan, and she's like, I don't think so. I'm not coming off title till you give me some money. He's like, I put all the money down. So next thing you know, they're splitting the equity and it's just a shit show. So get a contract, get something in place, and say if one of you hits your head and wakes up cuckoo and makes bad decisions, or it doesn't work out and it goes from lovey-dovey, I love you, to, I'm gonna kill you, and that is a problem. I've been in this game 20 years. It doesn't matter if it's investment, on a rock, whatever it is, you gotta do that. And like I always tell everybody, if you're willing to rent your mom, great. You better be willing to evict her because you never know if she'll move out. I know families that literally had to evict family members here in this great state of California because they wouldn't get out. No joke. Yeah, they still talk. Yeah, they're still friends. Yeah, they still love each other. But they wouldn't move out of the house and they had to evict. So you're going to rent your mom. You got to be willing to evict her. You're going to buy a property with a partner or boyfriend or anybody. Better have something in writing so in case it changes, you're protected. But 18%, that's a huge number. Then also they're getting roommates, so they're really house hacking their way to savings. So before I get into the whole Fed, I was writing my blog about a rate prediction. I'm not going to give it away, but I am. I'm going to give you what you want. I'm going to give it to you, and I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be close to right. But I read a lot of stuff over the weekend, watched a lot of stuff I've been watching, and obviously I'm always watching. I'm going to give you guys a rate prediction. I think the email's coming out in 2 weeks. Probably do a podcast on it. But I'm going to give you a rate prediction. But let's just simplify things. We follow the 10-year treasury. The 10-year treasury is at 4.2. Well, the Fed's, Jerome Powell, the guy that's always right, remember? The Feds are always right, wrong. They predict in about a year or so the 10-year treasury is going to be 3, maybe under 3. Somewhere around there, right? Next year. What if they're right? What if it's 3 and what if the spread goes back to 1.8? 3 plus 1.8 puts your what? Your conventional rate at 5.8. No. You got it. 4.8 for Kenny. Now, you think they're going to come down that much? Guys, I'm just telling you. As it goes up, it goes down. I know you don't want to believe me, but you're going to have to read my article. I'm going to leave you that teaser. Not going to go into it. But what we're going to go into is the Fed. It's frustrating because as I talk to homeowners and people that want to buy investment properties or trade up or do different things, I'm talking to just a lot of just everyday people. And trust me, they're like, how do you survive? And they're getting squeezed, and this costs this and that costs that. Whatever it is, we're all getting squeezed here. Whether you go somewhere or you go eat out or you do this, you do that, it's expensive. You want to, the average rate for a small business is I think it's 11+%. The average rate buying commercial property is probably 7%. The average rate of probably buying a home is 7%. It's expensive. Yes, these rates were low historically. For our grandma and grandpa and our mom and dad, they used to be 10 and 15%. But guys, your housing was way lower compared to what you made. It wasn't even close. So it's like comparing night and day, okay? So 7% is painful when you came from 2s and 3s, right? Even 4s. So that's the problem. We're all feeling it. In the Fed, we listen to him and he keeps saying follow the data, looking for data to come down. Well, the data has been coming down, trending month over month over month. And when you read my rate article, I go through this because I'm not just shooting from the hip. We're going through data, we're analyzing things of how the trends have been coming down. So anyways, the Fed's confusing. I don't know if they're just now, they don't care about data. They're just doing what they want to do. It's like Volcker 2.0. I get it. I get that the Fed wants to see more pain. I get that they go too early. This could bite us in the ass, and I do agree with that. But remember, if they overstep, which they probably already have, because the damage they're doing now doesn't show up later. It's like, you know, the hurricane's coming, then it hits, and then after that, you wait for the weather to clear up, then you assess the damage, and you figure out how are we going to rebuild and get back, right? So it's like the hurricane's moving through the high rates, and then we assess the damage. Is it a tropical storm? Is it category 5? Is it a 4, 3, 2? We just don't know. Jamie Dimon, you mentioned there's a hurricane coming. We don't know what level. But there is a storm. Are we going to have a hard landing, soft landing, all this? We don't know. All we know is that this data that the Fed is getting is not enough to make it feel okay to even pause. I think they're going to hike again. It's not okay to talk about rate cuts. But what's going to happen is election year is coming in 2024. This year, they're going to do all the work. They're going to put it to you guys. And next year, they're going to get a lot of pressure from politicians and all this stuff. So with that being said, the Fed doesn't know what the hell is going on, in my opinion. They're just going to play, hey, until they see some serious pain, they're going to keep raising rates. I mean, they do know what's going on, but if they're really looking at the data is clearly showing the slowdown. And if it's going to be coming in, it's not like the data is going to go like this. I mean, this is clearly coming in. We've got October. We got 45 million student payments. We've got credit card debt at all-time high. We've got inflation still with stuff is still expensive to go eat food and all this stuff. We got labor shortage. We got all this stuff out there. All this crap out there. And we just want to know when the rates are going to come down, right? Or when you're going to pivot. Because everybody's sitting here waiting. All the money on the sidelines, Wall Street, real estate people, business owners, all this because it's affecting us all. So with that being said, though, Fed's not giving us much hope, not giving us much guidance, but I'm going to tell you this. We are going to have to see pain month over month over month, and they're going to really have to say that, hey, we've got the pain, the inflation's down, it's staying down, and it's staying there. Because they don't want to see this, because we've been seeing a little bit of this, they don't want to see it. So until that's going to happen, expect volatility in the rates, expect volatility more in lending, all these things. Not so much residential, but commercial. And I mentioned commercial just because I'm just talking in general. Like, we're going to see the volatility, we're going to see the pain. But otherwise, that's it, guys. That's what I got you for this week. Hope you guys had a good holiday week. And wherever you are, and look forward to catching up with you guys next week. The Feds could raise rates September 20th. Otherwise, I'll keep studying the data, giving you all the intel I can. So anyways, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Have a good week. See you soon.